2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
What just happened? What's up, crew? I'm in Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm in Las Vegas. It's so weird. Yesterday around 4 p.m., the company that I worked with for the music video, they reached out and they were like, what do you think about coming to Vegas for 3 days to do some video work? And I'm like, Initial response was no, I don't have childcare typically set up, so I don't have anyone to take care of Dylan. And Sarah was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. And then we kind of talked for a little bit and she's like, I don't know. She's looking at her meeting schedule. Doesn't look too crazy for the first 3 days of the week. All the way up until I think 6 p.m. we're just like, I don't know. And then maybe I booked a flight, got out here, also booked a flight for my mom so that she can go up and help with Dylan for the 3 days. And here I am. I'm in Vegas. So weird. So hopefully show you some cool stuff today. And then I think today's gonna be a rest day anyways. And then later I'll give you a full tour of the room, which is very small anyways, and it's not gonna take very long to give you that tour. Where'd my light go? So, that's what's up. Very, very surreal. Seriously crazy to be asked to fly to Vegas within 6 hours of that request. Who does that?
Are you trying to find out where they're at? Just like
MongoDB.
go over the foundry. So you're gonna go left on the hallway here, go up the stairs, around the corner to the right hand side.
The Congo room, is that?
Yeah.
This is John.
I've been shooting since 6 a.m. for MongoDB. I've been working with, did a music video for them for this specific meeting, and they're going to show it tonight for the award ceremony, which is so cool. It's like, I'm actually really excited to see that video shown to, I don't know how many people are here actually. There's a lot of people. But I'm just so stoked to see the reaction to something that I've created or helped create. But to get some of the time in for the vlog, I'm gonna answer the questions finally. Sorry it's taken so long, but as you can tell, things got weird and I'm in Vegas. This is in order of first to last comment that I've received on the video. This was vlog number 141. What are your max numbers? Squat, deadlift, snatch, clean and jerk. My squat max currently is 505 pounds, and that was recently with the CrossFit Total. Check out that video. My deadlift is all-time PR is 565, and I did that a while ago, and then recently with the CrossFit Total I did 545. My snatch is at 315, but I know I can do 320. And these are all pounds. My next lifting competition, I will definitely go for 320 or more. And then my clean and jerk, I think I've only ever cleaned 385 on its own and jerked 385 on its own. So I'd have to retest that. I think the most I've ever done as a single lift, a clean and jerk, I've done 365, I believe. You can also power clean and jerk that, so you should be able to fully clean and jerk it. Next question, and that was from Nick Gage. Thanks for asking the question. This next one's from Out of Bounds. Are you aiming to compete in the games, either teams or individuals? I think anyone who's trying to compete at the higher level would love to compete at the games level. For me, at least realistically, I don't think it's in the cards, or at least I don't know if I'm ready for that type of commitment. I want to see if I can make it to regionals first, and if that works out the way I want it to, and I do well at regionals, then I might consider games. But right now my focus is really just doing well in this year's Open as best as I can. Next year I'll be focused on doing better in the Open so that I can at least put myself in a position to qualify for regionals, and then we'll see what happens at that point. If I had to choose between teams or individual, I would like to go team. Next one is from Ethical Athletics, and there's a couple questions. How do you balance or structure your training to become a well-balanced CrossFit athlete? At the most basic way to answer that question is, if you're just looking for a gym and you're trying to become a well-balanced athlete, you want to look for a gym that trains everything imaginable, that doesn't stick to a structure where it's just squats or it's just this or it's just that. They constantly vary as they're supposed to. Our Extreme follows Hyperfit USA, which does a really good job of including every single move you can ever imagine weekly. So you're constantly hitting different stuff. You're never doing the same thing over and over again. So that's how I sort of attack it. Is if I do my own thing, it's in response to maybe missing something that week and trying to make sure that I touch every type of movement, training gymnastics, training conditioning, training weightlifting, so that you are always ready for whatever comes. So I guess to really answer the question, I don't really have a structure. I'm following Hyperfit USA, so if anything, that might be the structure, is finding a program and sticking to it and not WOD hopping or program hopping, because really you can't see the results of something unless you spend 6 months to a year doing just that and not allowing other things to distract you from your goal. Do you think that everyone can make it to the games? I think anyone can, but not everyone will. It's kind of like what Gary Vee says. It comes down to execution. Everyone wants to do something, but it really comes down to that 10% or less who actually execute to do so. I'm having trouble with execution. You know, my training is getting better because I train with Neil. My diet is still wishy-washy. While I still eat pretty healthy, I'm not doing as good as I should to get where I want to be, and that it needs to change slowly. I tried too hard to dive right in, and I'm just going to try to get back in. How would you go about becoming a videographer for a company? Would you do any training or just go out and make videos? So a creative question. My goal is not to become an on-site videographer. I want to stay independent because that allows me to stay true to my vision or what I like to produce. I'll do work for companies, and I guess to answer this question, right now I'm a stay-at-home dad. Basically, it would mean what is next for me, what happens when I stop being a stay-at-home dad. I plan to try to make this my go-to. So once Dylan is in school, and if we have baby number 2, once they're in school and I'm able to dedicate actual hours to doing this full-time, I'm going to be trying to get clients and do it on my own. Hope that answers your questions. Thank you for asking them. From Just Do It, what does the tattoo on your forearm mean? Assume you're talking about this one. I got that in college. Basically, I'm very passionate about everything that I do. As you can tell with the vlog, with video editing, with fitness, my family, I live my life with passion, so I put it on my arm. Whether or not anyone thinks that's a good idea, I chose to do that. It's not really a reminder, it's just sort of it's a part of me. I wanted to express that via tattoo. And behind it, you can't really see it too well with the face tracking, there's a rose built in. I got that after, I think about a year or two after, and that was in dedication to my grandma. Her name is Rose Lyles. This was about a year before she passed away, and I wanted to immortalize her on, immortalize? I wanted to have something on me that represented her forever, and that's a rose. And I'm gonna add to that, I'm gonna add her name and have dates on there that represent her. And then I'm gonna add to it as well and put another rose for Dylan because we gave her Rose as her middle name. Jeremy Bobek, what athletic achievement are you most proud of from your life? Athletic achievement. I think right now it's having my college paid for via being an athlete. So in high school, I didn't really know that you could go to college and get it paid for by playing football. I just thought, you know, once you're done with high school, you could play in college. You know, I didn't really pay attention to college ball at all, so, you know, it was really not top of mind. One moment, I'm just being considered by, you know, UCLA, I'm being considered by Fresno. Fresno was the closest one to actually happening, and then they gave me the call and said that they picked somebody else. My mom was very adamant about trying to get me somewhere, so she called the coach and said, hey, you know, he had his hopes up for doing this. Can you put his name out or send his tape to someone? And they sent it to San Jose State. They called me up, gave me a scholarship. I had a full ride, fully paid for college, 4.5 years. I got my degree, business management, and I'd say that's probably my athletic achievement, is being able to utilize my talents to pay for something as big as college was. So my mom and dad didn't have to worry about paying for that. It was amazing. Michael Caldera. Uh-oh. Call. What's up? Pardon the interruption. It's getting quiet in here. It's gonna be a little bit awkward talking to the camera. Michael Caldera, do you plan long-term for training, meals, and day-to-day? I've mentioned this before. I wish I could do better with that, because I do believe that planning does help with that kind of thing, and I do feel like that is why my diet has not done as well as it has before. If I have a solid plan in place, I can stick to it because I know what I'm supposed to be doing. But if it's something that's very sporadic and like in the moment, I tend to fall off the rails because it's not there are no rails. Basically just going off road. If you do you rate, evaluate yourself? When I do that stuff, I don't spend the time to evaluate myself. And you know what? That is a good question. That maybe that's something that I should do in the future when I do try to sit down and plan my meals. Maybe I'll try to set up some sort of evaluation plan to where I can have checkpoints and do that stuff. How does Sarah think? What does Sarah think of your decision to be more committed to fitness? She is actually pretty cool about it. She's actually pretty excited and kind of believes the same as me, that I do have a chance or an opportunity to potentially make it to regionals because I am strong and I have an athletic background. It's just a matter of being super disciplined. Obviously, she shares the same worries as I do when it comes to the time it's going to take and the dedication it's going to take. Luckily, in the next couple months, Dylan will start going to daycare, and it's going to free up time for me to get that extra training done that I will need to, and those were not too many, so thank you, Michael. Nicola Kingswood, how did you and Sarah meet? Well, a long time ago. It was at an athlete formal for San Jose State. We met at Sonoma Chicken Coop. I know, magical. We met eyes. I was really interested, tried to dance with her. I even tried to ask her if she wanted to, hey, you want to take this to my... She shot me down, sort of. She said that she came with a bunch of friends on the bus I had driven, so I offered a ride home. And fate had it where we met again, I think the following weekend at a house party, and I kind of flirted with her, but I got her number, gave her a text like, hey, would you like to get some breakfast the next morning? We went to Iguanas, which is like kind of a running joke. It's where we sort of kicked it off first. And here's an interesting story about Sarah and I don't know if she's going to be that interested in me sharing this, but before we actually even dated, before we were even together, I bunked in her room for about 6 months. Slept in her bed. We were not together. We just sort of lived together in the same room for the longest time because I was sort of homeless. I didn't really have the dorm room situation. I was collecting my stipend checks. That's the saga of Sarah and John. Thank you, Nicola. John Buckner, what are your thoughts on redoing open workouts? Have you ever redone an open WOD? Well, so answered that in yesterday's video upload, so make sure to check that out. But just to reiterate, I think redoing the open WODs is, as a non-regionals competitor, someone who's never made it to regionals and who if you understand that that's not your goal and that's not something that you're trying to do, redoing a workout is really just up to you. And it's, for the most part, if you think you can improve dramatically, go for it. And if you think that you won't be too bummed out that you didn't do better, then sure. But if one of those two is a no, it's just not worth it, especially something like this 17.1 where your back should be blown out, and if you do it again, you're most likely putting yourself in a negative situation where 17.2 is going to be much harder. Have you ever redone? I've redone many open WODs, and that's where I say lesson learned. I did the deadlift box jump twice. I did several of them twice, and you know, you improve a couple reps, you improve on your time a little bit, but that's just my opinion. Ian Whitla, what is your favorite WOD? I'm gonna be selfish because I'm a giant, and it's gonna be Grace and Isabel equally because they're pretty much the same thing, just two different movements, and that's only because I crush them. They're quick, they're dirty, they're a lineman's dream. I live my life 10 yards at a time. My skinny mission. What's your prediction if they repeat workout this year? I think they will repeat the thruster row workout from 2015. It was the final workout. I actually did well on that one, and I'd be interested in redoing it. And it's funny that you said the workouts will all be dumbbells this year. I said that in the garage on one of the vlog episodes, and I read that comment. I was like, we are thinking the same. Last question, Travis Liang. Favorite cheat meal and favorite cheat dessert? Ah, there's two. So my favorite treat snacks are donuts. I just can't live without donuts. Cheat meal? A burrito. Like a really huge, from Iguanas. If you're from San Jose, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, look it up. Burritozilla. I don't eat that ever, but their burritos are the bombest. And the cheat dessert, pecans and pralines ice cream. Just a full tub, because that's how I roll. That's all the questions. Thank you for submitting them. It's a pretty good amount for my first Q&A, so thank you all for that. And we'll call that today's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, subscribe. If you're not new, hit that like button, leave a comment, share this video. Those are all the things that help my channel get noticed and grow the crew. And remember, never, ever do Fran on an empty stomach. It will destroy you.